How's it going, YWC? Guy on the internet who doesn't like reviews. It's late, but my inner wrestling fan commands me or propels me to do this review. So, without further ado, Destination X TNA review. Pretty good show. Pretty good for pay-per-view. If I were going to judge on pay-per-view level, kind of. Yeah, if you're going to judge it like that, yeah. But as far as a TV show, pretty good television watching. Not really a good pay-per-view in terms of what it was. But as far as television and continuing storylines, hey, excellent job. But I guess that's really what you can expect from these free previews that TNA does now, I guess. I mean, whatever. So anyway, let's get started with the first thing that happens. But before we get started with the first match that happens, let's get started with some things that were thrown in on Impact that kind of going to impact stuff from like weeks down the line. So TNA has brought back the Bound for Glory playoff series, and the 8 guys that are going to be in the Bound for Glory series are Brother Nero, Matt Hardy, EC3, Drew Galloway, Eli Drake, James Storm. I'm forgetting a couple people. James Storm and is that EC3? Anyway, it's 2 people. Why am I forgetting these 2 people? Let me go over this again. EC3, Drew Galloway, Eli Drake, Nero, Matt Hardy, James Storm, and it's 2 people I'm forgetting. I don't know why I'm forgetting these people. Bram, and one more person. Who am I forgetting? The Miracle Mike Bennett. So these 8 people are going to go into a playoff series to figure out who's going to face someone, the champion at Bound for Glory. And then you had the Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was just over the top as usual, and he had like 4 or 5 promos where he was talking about the deletion of Brother Nero, and then like there was one thing he was like eating with Rebby. He was like telling this girl, "Bring me green beans. You must have green beans and more libation and no mustard. I hate mustard." And then he went to his thing where he was like, told this guy, write down everything I say. Delete, 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 delete. And then they had this in-ring promo where he was talking about deleting Brother Nero, how he finally did it. And they brought out Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy. And it said no music, no fanfare. Rebby Hardy, who was looking just fucking beautiful as always, kept saying to Jeff Hardy, obsolete, obsolete. And I guess that's his new theme song, obsolete, obsolete. And Matt's like, this is your punishment for trying to break me or breaking me. I'm terminating your TNA contract because I own everything about you and everything Hardy. Jeff Hardy's walking away and he's like, no, wait a minute. I know you. You'll find happiness somewhere else. You might go work for that megalomaniac in New York, McMahon. You might go work for McMahon. What the fuck is up with Matt Hardy's accent? Or you might go work for the New Japan Wrestling. No, I need you here because your name is valuable. I may be broke in, but with your name and your selling ability, markability, I will never be broke. You will be my mule or whatever. So that's an interesting story. How they're gonna, I guess, another redemption story for Jeff Hardy, which I guess this is better than the other one with the drugs and is more closer to the wrestling, although that one was a little bit more lifelike. But this is way more entertaining. So first match, X Division #1 contendership, dj.z, Rockstar Spud, Mandrews, Braxton Sutter, the Helms Dynasty, aka Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett, and also is one other guy that I forget. Why I always forget the other guy? And anyway, he must have not been that important, or was he? To do it, man. I said managers. I think that was all the people in there. Anyway, let me just say this: roster split, standout performance in the match. Not wrestling wise, but character wise. The guy was just cursing people out, spitting on people. The only guy in there that grabbed the steel chair and started wailing on people. The guy is just he's masterful at being a heel, and I can't wait until I know it's inevitable. Braxton Sutter versus Rockstar Spud scrap match. It's got to happen. It's just got to happen. dj.z ends up winning this match with pretty much like taking out the entire everybody else on the outside and just climbing the ladder. And then after the match, gives a little promo about wanting to be the next S-Division champion, and he gets attacked by the Miracle Mike Bennett. Miracle says that he's going to ruin Destination X. Sorry that. Anyway, after that, you get finding EC3. He talks about how he's going to fight Drew Galloway because they keep getting each other's way when it comes to the World Heavyweight title. Then you get an in-ring promo between Lashley and Eddie Edwards, which was kind of out of place. I don't think they should have just had. If they're gonna have the main event, why would they have like this promo segment? But I understand why they did it, because Lashley, he's like, you shouldn't be facing me. I gave you a chance to not do it, and you're being stupid by facing me. I'm going to destroy you. Lashley then gets a promo, like he gets talked to by Eddie. Eddie says that the SB is the heart of TNA. Lashley says no, it's the TNA World Heavyweight title because you're at the top of the food chain. It's the belt that makes you the man, which is very debatable because a lot of people say, oh, the X Division, it made TNA, it would put TNA on the map. But in any company, the World Heavyweight title, that's the main belt. That's the belt that everybody wants to get. So I guess it's how you feel about the situation. So after a while, Lashley attacks Eddie Edwards, but then out of nowhere, David Richards comes and saves Lashley. What the hell am I talking about? He saves Eddie Edwards, and they double clothesline Lashley over the top rope. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, yeah, they're going to pull the angry teammate coming back from injury, turning his back on Eddie Edwards. That's how it's going to go because, I said it months ago. So, that's what I'm just thinking. Anyway, moving on. Past that, you get more of that Jeff Hardy stuff. You get Bram versus Abyss. And I'm not going to lie. I think this is the first time they face each other with, I think, a regular match stipulation. I think in the past, all their match stipulation was like hardcore, like a ladder match or a hardcore match. This was okay. It was just okay. It's not as good as the matches, especially like that. What was the ladder match we saw between them? Now, that was their best match so far. The match ends when Rosemary comes out and she touches Steve, gets in the ring and breathes over Bram. And Steve and Abyss are like, what the hell's going on? Abyss gets up. He's like, Rosemary, what are you doing? And Bram pushes Abyss into Steve, gets a roll-up victory, and then Rosemary is caressing Bram's chest, and Bram is like, oh, I don't understand what's going on. And Abyss and Craven Steve, they're going like mad crazy. They're yelling at Rosemary, what the hell are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. So it's going to be interesting to see where this storyline goes between Bram, Decay / Rosemary. So anyway, it was man. It just Anyway, moving on next, you get the 4-way women's knockout, not women's match, 4-way women's match. Marty Bell versus Gail Kim versus Jade versus I got a champion. Sienna. Sorry, it's late. I'm trying to get this redone. Anyway, Sienna wins with a brutal, fucking brutal pounce / sounds or whatever you want to call it on Gail Kim. Like, I think Gail Kim had just hit Eat Defeat on Marty Bell after Marty Bell had just hit her finisher, Protect Your Neck. Protect your neck. You gotta say it like a New Yorker. Protect your neck. It's a pedigree on Jade, but she hits Eat Defeat on Marty Bell, and Allie, she puts Marty Bell's feet on the ropes to protect Sienna's title, and Gail Kim tries to go for, I guess, a suicide dive onto Allie with a back turn, and when she's coming back off the ropes, Sienna just comes out of nowhere and just completely demolishes her with that pounce. You see some notable stuff in the match. Jade just fucking kicking ass. The Warrior Princess. Yeah, Jade is fucking awesome. Like I said, Gail Kim, she's like the standard bearer. So, anything you say about Gail Kim in the past, you pretty much bring it to this match. Marty Bell looked pretty decent. But I think, Sienna, I don't know what it is. I like Sienna as far as wrestling. The character, they bring up more of the pinkies up, more of the classy. Like, I don't know if you ever seen Allison Kay's gimmick on the Indies. Allison Kay / Sienna, aka Sienna. Her pinkies up again. They're trying to incorporate that now into it, but it's just like throwing tiny bits of it in there. And I can't wait until they finally get into the full groove of it. But anyway, Sienna wins the match, the 4-way match. Interesting to see where they take it from here. I already talked about the Brother Nero. Brother Nero. You're obsolete. Obsolete. You would just go work for that megalomaniac. Markman. How do they say this shit? Markman. This is fucking Matt Hardy. That guy is fucking... Like, this is his best character ever. Anyway, so dj.z challenges the Miracle Mike Bennett after being attacked, and the match happens. It's pretty good. The Miracle pretty much dominates with the power, but then in the match, when dj.z gets rolling with all of his high flying stuff, like the hurricanranas, especially like this one he hit on the outside, like Miracle was on the apron and he jumped on the steel steps and hit the hurricanrana. Miracle, he's just like, oh man, fuck this. This match doesn't matter. Before he gets to the back entrance, he gets stopped by Braxton Sutter, Mandrews, and surprisingly enough, the Helms Dynasty, which is, weird because the Helms Dynasty are supposed to be quote unquote heels, and I guess what it's saying is, even though they're heels, they show respect for the S Division, and they don't like what the Miracle has done to the S Division, pretty much making a mockery of the division. So they acted as what you would say roadblocks, so the Miracle couldn't escape. And the Miracle, he backs himself back into the ring, which allows dj.z to hit a cradle roll-up pin on the Miracle. And I think this is the Miracle's second single pinfall defeat. And he gets on the mic and he's like, no, that's not how it's supposed to happen. But look, I'm still going to burn this company to the ground, but I'm not going to do it alone. Anyway, and you're wondering what the hell that's going to be. Then you move into the next. I wouldn't say this was a match. I think it just, an unsafe and street fight. That's basically what it was. Galloway versus EC3. Pretty hard-hitting fight for what it was. I don't think this is the last we've seen of it. It pretty much ends with it being broken up by TNA officials and TNA wrestlers. It was okay for what it was. Just, it had a feel of a street fight. an unsanctioned street fight, by the way. And that's all you really can ask for there. Then you get the main event: Eddie Edwards versus Lashley. Lashley just completely ran through Eddie Edwards for the whole entire match. Well, minus some spots from Eddie Edwards, but in the end, the referee gets knocked out when Lashley catches Eddie Edwards trying to go for the Boston Knee Party finisher. Catches him in the power slam. He spins Eddie on his shoulders around, knocks out the referee, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, here's the time that Dave Rich is going to turn his back on Eddie, especially since Lashley had just gotten the title and he's about to try to knock out Eddie with the title, and Davey has gotten in the ring. I'm thinking, okay, here's going to happen. But Davey's going to knock the title out of Lashley's hands, and then he's going to knock out Eddie. Predictable wrestling as usual, yawn, snore. But in a twist, they knocked the belt out of Lashley's hand and then hit one of their finishers. Pretty much the hold up, the vertical delay super kick into the Falcon Arrow. And I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be a twist somewhere. It's got to be something. He goes for the pin, Eddie Edwards. 1, 2, Lashley kicks out. And the referee gets up, and it's the Miracle Mike Bennett right there in his face. Miracle knocks out the referee. And then you're thinking, okay, well, that's the end of the show. What's going to happen next? You hear the music. Moose. 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 And you had heard the rumblings, that Moose had signed to TNA, but you weren't thinking Moose was going to show up like right then and there. Like, because I guess he had just signed like last week or like a couple days. No, Moose got on TV sooner than we all expected. And Moose comes out, the crowd's already hitting Moose. Moose. And you think, okay, Moose in Ring of Honor, he was a face and, he's pretty liked by the crowd. He gets into the ring. Well, before he gets into the ring, I think he knocks out Davey Richards with I think this is his new finisher. It's okay. It's hard. Is it hard to explain? No, not really. Okay. If you ever seen Okada's Rainmaker clothesline, where he takes the guy from the back and he like interlocks their arms and then brings him into them and to himself. Well, Moose does that same setup, but instead of like the regular clothesline, he does a 360 spin with it first, and then I think it does they do a forearm or a clothesline. I think it's a clothesline. So I think that's a lot better, and it gives him his own unique kind of finisher. Obviously, Lashley does the spear, so you got two big black guys doing spears. It gets kind of confusing. So he hits that on Davey. Then he hits it on Eddie. Then, he hits it on Eddie. Gets into the ring. Stares down Lashley. Beats up Lashley. Hits the finisher. And the Miracle and him are standing tall. So, I guess the Miracle has gotten the services of Moose to help him take down TNA, which is very interesting. If they don't make him just a regular lackey, I could see the Miracle and Moose as a tag team. Now that's good television right there. Yeah, hell yeah. And it would be an awesome tag team. And then it cuts to Dizzy Carter, Mackenzie interviewing Dizzy Carter and saying, what do you think about what happened, blah, blah, blah. And Dizzy says, look, next week it's going to be live. We've got to have a winner. Our fans deserve it. So next week, Lashley versus Eddie Edwards. 6 sides of steel. There must be a winner. And I'm going to be there next week, next Thursday. Anyway, I think it was a pretty good television show. As far as a pay-per-view, I if you just on saying, hey, this was a bad pay-per-view, I'll agree with you. If you say it was a bad television show, yeah, you're just fucking lying. So you gotta draw the line right there. Anyway, Tell me what you guys thought about the show in the comment section. If this review seemed kind of off, it's because it's really late and I need to go to sleep. Anyway, 20 minutes. Wow. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.